Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be looking at some of the new Creativations released from Dina Wakley, and we're using up lots of scraps and leftovers. So I'm working in the new blue journal, which has got lots of different substrates. All the pages I've done so far have been in this new journal, so there's plenty of pages for you to have a look at. And I'm going in and I'm just gluing down on a page that I've cleaned a stencil on a load of my tissue paper collage pieces that I've been collecting over the last few days when I've been doing all these journal pages that have got lots of the new acrylic ink sprays or acrylic paint sprays on them. So these are all the Dina Wakley tissues that I've been using sort of to spray over, to mop up, and they're just beautiful. They're really highly pigmented and lots of colour. I'm using matte medium to glue everything down in the background. Unfortunately, the paintbrush I used wasn't particularly clean, so my nice white page has now got a slightly grey stain to it. Once I'd finished gluing down all the tissue paper, I'm now going into my collage collective, and I've been using that a little bit recently as well. And just in the front of my collage collective, anything I cut out or I've got scraps of, I actually stick into the front so nothing goes to waste. If you've had a copy of the collage collective, you'll know that all the pages are double-sided, so you've usually got something interesting to glue down on your page. So this is just a really random sort of collage, and I suppose the reason I'm doing it is to put some interest in the background, to put some colour in the background, and to put some texture in the background. So you see I'm just masking off my area, and I'm using the gloss acrylic sprays in Night to spray on my page. Now the great thing about this is it's really glossy. It's really quick to apply the paint. You're not sponging and waiting, you can just apply it. And you can also, with all the excess ink that you've got on your page, you can sort of reapply the ink on it and get some really cool textures. So for something that took me 30 seconds to do, if I was been using sponges and paints and so on, it would probably take me a few minutes. So for those people who are a little bit time poor, this is a really quick way to get around it. One word of warning is I don't mind having dirty stencils. It really doesn't bother me, but if you do, and particularly with your surfaces around and so on, the acrylic sprays will dry permanent when they are dry. And they make it a little bit tough to get off. You can't just wipe it up with a wet wipe when it's dry. So make sure you've got something to clean your area with. Hand sanitizer works really well. So if anything's stuck, just grab out your hand sanitizer and wipe over with that, and that will release all the acrylic ink for it from you. So now I decided I want to put some direction onto this page. I sort of had the crosses going diagonally across the page. So I'm using some of the Dina Wakley washi tape or a media tape from a long time ago onto the page, and I actually really like this page as is. It's a very unusual page for me in the fact that there's still white that can be seen. I haven't completely covered the page up, I haven't used stencils everywhere, and I've actually used washi tape on it. So I did think though I needed a focal image, and usually when I think about a focal image, I think about a face or a person or somewhat. So I've got this picture or stamp, from one of Dina's previous releases that I just stamped onto some lined paper, and I was going to glue down onto the page. And I quite liked it, but then the collage collective actually caught my eye, and I just thought, maybe I could use something with that, something with a bit more colour. So I found this piece that I'd already cut out, waiting for another go, and I actually really liked this shape, and I really liked it with the face on the back, and I was really torn between which one I was going to use, whether it was going to be this side or the other side with the face on it. But having the face on it made me think, I could maybe put a face on this page. And I was, for a half moment, actually thinking, I could draw a face on here, and I thought, don't be silly, just, you've got stamps here. Make it easy on yourself. So I'm actually just putting ink on the inside of the stamp. I'm avoiding the hair so I can transfer the face over onto that piece and sort of get this face coming out of the circle. It's a little bit abstract, but I quite liked it. And I liked the fact that the sort of the orange and the reds in the piece were sort of being picked up in the background. So I'm just gluing that down. I was sad to get rid of the face on the other side because I was really, really close to using that face too. It's sometimes a really hard decision on which side for the collage collective you use. I'm just going in with my Stabilo Oil Pencil to redefine the lines around the circle. And I also wanted to put some sort of quote in this page, but I couldn't really work out how to do it. So I stamped across the side, and it says, I'm so much more than I look like, which I quite liked because, you know, she's an odd-looking woman in an odd-looking face, but there's so much more going on in that page, so I quite liked how that went. And something unusual for me, I suppose, I stamped it at an angle. It didn't stamp particularly well, and I continued to off-stamp the ink further onto the image, which I quite like how that sort of had that scribbly text going into the background. I'm also going in with some scribble sticks just to boost a little bit of the colour, put some colour onto her lips and so on, just to make them a little bit more of a focus. And this is what finished the page off for me, was doing some journaling in white pen alongside. It's pretty much unreadable, but just by adding that text to the side of the face, just balanced off the page for me in some strange way. I also decided to put some shadowing around the crosses just to pick them out as well. So here in the close-up you can see how those words have sort of been stamped out a few times just to get that repeated pattern across the page. So this is just an idea for you to use your offcuts and your leftovers, the things hanging around on your desk, glue them into your journal on a page that you don't feel too precious about, and just have a go and have a play around, because you might be surprised, you might come up with something really that you love. You never know. If you enjoyed watching this, please check out my Creativations videos, and you can see a lot more of the new releases from Dina Wakley for 2020. Until next time, bye for now.